If you're looking to treat yourself with a new pair of premium flagship headphones, then you're probably trying to decide between the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation or the Sony WH-1000XM6. Now, both are good options, but they're also both really expensive, so unless you have an unlimited bank account, you're probably just trying to pick which one is right for you. Well, your search ends here because at SoundGuys, we have tested both of these headphones, we've reviewed them, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know which pair of flagship headphones are right for you. First up, let's talk about design. Who's got the better design and which feels more comfortable? Well, the answer here is Bose. These new QuietComforts, like the QuietComforts that came before it, are some of the most comfortable headphones on the market. They're very lightweight, they have a nice build, they have very plush ear cups and padding up at the top, and they just feel really good. I have worn the original Ultras on planes, trains, and automobiles, and the 2nd generation have basically the same design, and it just feels really good. These are really lightweight. You won't regret buying this purely for comfort. There is only one thing that irks me about the Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation's design, and that's the control scheme, because you've got a mix of physical buttons and this touch strip here. Personally, I am not a fan of this touch strip because I find it so easy to accidentally jack up the volume if your finger slips. The touch strip and the buttons are also just in a weird position for me that just doesn't feel natural, so I find myself having to reach around and hunt for the touch strip of the buttons, and in the process I accidentally swipe up and then jack the volume up and blow my eardrums out. Not the best design, but once you've used it a couple times you get used to it. Still not the most refined control scheme, just putting that out there. Now the Sony WH-1000XM6 on the other hand, I mean, they're fine. I mean, you know, they fold, they're pretty compact. We've only had these for a few months and the ear cups are already starting to leave indents from glasses and other people's ears. It's not as plush as the Bose headphones, and I mean, part of that is so that it can create a tighter seal with your ears, but that's at the expense of comfort. I feel like when I wear these for long enough, I can just start to feel the plastic enclosure, and that's really not comfortable. And also this headband, I mean, that's just not enough padding. It's not as comfortable. And the cherry on top of this kind of sundae that nobody asked for is that if you have larger ears, then you may find that the outside of your ear might be touching the ANC module, which happens to stick out of the speaker driver inside the ear cup. It's something that we haven't seen Sony do in previous models, and it's unfortunate that they're doing it for their latest and supposedly greatest. So I will give Sony some credit though, because I do like the control scheme on these headphones. The entire right ear cup is a capacitive touch surface, so you swipe up and down to control volume, left and right to control playback, tap to play pause, and then you can even cover the ear cup to temporarily engage, I believe, ambient sound mode so that you can talk to people. Would I take that control scheme at the expense of comfort? Probably not. So again, if comfort and fit is your priority here, then you're really gonna have a hard time beating the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation. Next, connectivity. Which one has better connection options? Well, the good news here is that both headphones offer both wireless and wired connection options. Both use Bluetooth 5.4, both support SBC and AAC, as do most other headphones on the market. But in terms of high quality codecs, the Sony WH-1000XM6 opts for LDAC, while the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation uses aptX, with support for aptX adaptive, so you can get codecs like aptX lossless. Now, if you're comparing aptX lossless to LDAC, the experience is pretty similar. Like, there is a bit of a difference in terms of the amount of data that's transferred, but it's not going to be significant enough that it's going to drastically transform the way you listen to music over Bluetooth. Both will provide CD-like audio quality over Bluetooth, and I think that's great enough for most people. But something to note is that there are more Android devices out there that do support LDAC, versus with aptX lossless, or just any version of aptX, you need to make sure that your host device or your smartphone actually supports Snapdragon sounds. Now, wireless connections, that's pretty cool, but you know what's even better? Wired connections. You can connect wired with the Sony WH-1000XM6 via the 3.5mm jack on the bottom, and you can also connect wired with the Bose using the 2.5mm jack on the bottom, and thank goodness there's a cable included, because who the hell else is using 2.5mm? But also, Bose has got another trick up its sleeve. The 2nd generation now supports audio over USB-C, which finally, thank you Bose for doing that, because all headphones should have this by now, because this allows for lossless audio decoding when you use your computer or smartphone as the source, and allows you to use the DSP of the headphones instead of your source device, and this in turn should result in the best performance when using a wired connection. Now, while Bose can boast about finally having USB-C audio, one thing they can't talk smack to Sony about is app features, because Sony blows Bose out of the water when it comes to app features. The Sony Sound Connect app is just packed full of features that allow you to really customize the XM6 headphones to your liking. First of all, you've got a really nice and comprehensive EQ tool to help you adjust the tuning of the headphones to your taste. There's also that sound quiz you can take to have the app help guide you towards an EQ setting that you might prefer. You've got sound virtualization, you've got ambient sound controls, you've got Sony 360 reality audio. Meanwhile, Bose does give you some level of customization via the Bose app. In the app, you can do things like customize the shortcut, take advantage of the 3-band EQ, which is definitely not good enough in 2025, but more on that later. You can control ANC modes, cycle between different listening modes, but there's no hearing test, there's no sound quiz, nothing really special here. There is Bose immersive audio, and Bose did release a new cinema mode for the Ultra 2nd generation, but when I tried it, I didn't really enjoy it. It just didn't sound good. I mean, the bass still sounded too muddy, so like the cellos and the score just sounded too loud. Also, you have to use the head tracking if you're using cinema mode, which is not ideal because I don't really enjoy the head tracking with Bose immersive audio. I know Bose is trying to push the idea of trying to mimic the idea of using speakers, but if you want to feel like you're using speakers, why not use speakers? But to conclude this section of the video, if you're somebody who really likes to customize and tinker, then the clear winner is the Sony WH-1000XM6. If you're fine with just a more out-of-the-box experience and you don't need to do that much tinkering, then yeah, the Bose should suffice. It has the bare necessities. All right, battery life. Who wins? The answer? Sony, again. In our standardized battery test, the Sony WH-1000XM6 lasted around 37 hours and 14 minutes, while the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones lagged behind by around 10 hours, lasting 27 hours and 12 minutes. And mind you, this is with ANC on for both headphones. Now, something to know is that unless you're doing a 27+ hour movie watching or music listening bender, then you're probably not going to notice the battery life difference on day-to-day use. But what you will notice is that you will have to charge the Bose more than the Sony. But rest assured that these headphones will last you more than enough hours, especially if you're taking these on a flight. Alright, in terms of microphone quality, both headphones also offer pretty decent mic arrays for taking calls on the go. Now, in our standardized microphone testing, I did find that the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation did a better job in maintaining vocal clarity in particularly windy environments compared to the WH-1000XM6, although the Sonys don't sound bad either, and if you want to hear the microphone samples for yourself, then I highly recommend you check out our full reviews on SoundGuys.com. Have a listen to the samples and leave a comment down below which you think has the better mic. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff, because Bose and Sony have both been battling for the ANC crown for years now. And so who gets the crown this year? Well, you're gonna have to call someone with a chainsaw and cut that crown in half, because it's a tie. In our lab tests, the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd gen and the Sony WH-1000XM6 are both able to reduce the loudness of outside noise by an average of 87%. Basically, that means that if you're gonna take these on a plane ride or on a boat ride or car ride, or if you're just trying to work in a busy cafe or near chatty coworkers, these headphones are gonna do a really good job in canceling out those loud external noises. Now, the longer you look at the chart, the more you're going to see that there are a few differences in how both of these headphones cancel out noise, but the truth is that the differences are minimal. The performance is basically the same. So if ANC really is your priority here, you're not going to go wrong buying either of these headphones. They will do the job. All right, sound quality. Which of these headphones sound better? This part is a little complicated. Now, if you're basing this decision solely on our objective measurements, then that's going to be tough, because both headphones look like they're tuned very similarly. Both of them have a little bit of an overemphasis in the low end compared to our preference curve, and both headphones also have mids that line up pretty closely with our curve. The Sony headphones do have a bit of a peak at 10 kilohertz that may make cymbals and hi-hats sound a little bit too shrill to some people, but the Sony headphones do have one big advantage, which is that if this annoys you, you can actually adjust some of these parameters in the Sony Sound Connect app because it has a more comprehensive EQ tool than the Bose headphones. Whereas with the Bose headphones, you are limited to the bass mids treble slider, where you don't know what frequencies are being affected exactly, and so you're kind of having to shoot your shot and see if the adjustments even work for your tastes. And you also have to take these charts with a grain of salt because the Bose headphones have custom tune technology built in, which essentially calibrates and tunes the earbuds according to your own ears. So what you see on this chart may not be 100% indicative of your personal experience using the Bose headphones. That being said, if you're asking for my personal opinion, I do like the sound of the Sony XM6 headphones more than the Bose. With the Bose, I just found it way too bass heavy for my tastes. I listen to a lot of EDM in my spare time, and I listen to a lot of hard dance and hard techno. And so those songs have a lot of bass. With these headphones, the low end just sounds a little too muddy for me. Kick drums and bass lines just start to sound not very distinct from each other. It becomes too busy in the mix and becomes fatiguing over long listening periods. And because of the bass being too loud, I feel like I'm not hearing enough of the mids to compensate for the overbearing bass. But again, that's just my opinion. I mean, after all, the Bose QuietComfort series are still popular for a reason. And you might be somebody who enjoys a lot of bass from their headphones. If that's the case, you might enjoy the second gen Bose QuietComfort Ultras. Both these headphones cost $449, which is very much more than a pretty penny. And so if you are trying to choose between these two, which one should you buy? Well, kind of what I was alluding to throughout this video, it's not a very clear-cut answer because a lot of this is going to depend on your priorities. If you're somebody who I think values sound quality and the ability to tinker with their devices more and really customize their headphones to what they like, then you're probably going to enjoy the benefits of the Sony WH-1000XM6. However, if you value comfort above all, or you just can't stand the fit of these headphones, and you're also somebody who doesn't really want to tinker and just wants a reliable pair of headphones that sound decent out of the box, then the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd gen are probably the choice for you. Now, I know I've been talking about the Bose for basically half of this video, but I've only really just scratched the surface in terms of its feature set and its sound quality and whatnot. So if you want a really in-depth look into the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation, then I highly recommend checking out Chris's review right here.